Yeah! And it's not so far off! It's quite far off, the voice I gave her. Alright, okay. Heather has joined the party! That's the bands. At least you came in handy this time with a join the party tune. That's what this is missing. It's missing a join the party tune. Now, what was it? Seventh Saga. Seventh Saga had a really awesome join the party tune, but very, very little in the way of in-themage. Whereas this one has neither. I don't know, I can't guarantee that. There may be an in somewhere. Anyway, so, special power, better slingshot. Only 3 party members. My brain was trying to read it quicker than my brain and mouth were working in tandem. Only 3 party members can be in the front row at a time. Party members in the back row cannot attack monsters, use special powers, or use items. However, monsters cannot usually attack girls in the back row, except with area attacks, and girls in the back row will regenerate 1 SP every round. You can switch places with the back row girl during battle using the swap command. The girl brought forward will get to take her turn immediately. If girls in the front row are knocked out, back row girls will step forward to replace them. Must admit, I'm slightly surprised they didn't do a bit more of a sort of... I feel like maybe she should be able to use... Oh, okay, I see. She's got Slap as her primary move, and then better Slingshot. So, what do we think of this girl? We've already established we likey. Therefore, we've got ourselves a lighty. It's going to be meaningless to some people. Anyway. Oh my god! She likes cotton candy and butterfly. Yeah, alright, love. You can have your cotton candy and you can have your butterflies. But heavy fucking metal! It's like she was made for me. Apart from the butterflies and the cotton candy. But, you know, each to their own. She can have a few things she likes. We don't have to like all the same things. We're individuals, after all. But heavy fucking metal? Games? Engineering, I've got no idea. But, you know, it's impressive. Okay, what do I want? What do I want? Best leave what I want in my mind, because otherwise I'll be arrested! Anywho, we'll make you special, because you are... oh, I've got points remaining, so we'll upgrade. We'll do sort of double upgrade on your special and your better slingshot. So... Oh, actually, the slingshot is very, very cheap in the first place. Oh well, we'll still have that as a thing. I feel like that's appropriate. Anyway, right. We were supposed to do this ages ago, but we're going to address the next question. And the next question was, game you most want to see a sequel for, be it first or in a long series. Okay. So, okay. I actually answered this as the question being games you most want to see rather than game. So there are multiple ones written here. So, games sequels like ... You can see I sort of just left it open-ended so that I could fill it in as it went. Breath of Fire. Actually, partially designed a new one, which could have allowed the series a rebirth. By the way, that was the title. As it would be like a phoenix rising from the ashes of the unfortunate dragon water. So yes, I'll continue reading the note. I'll address details later. So, Shenmue! I wanted, then sort of gave up on. And now apparently it is happening with Kickstarter. They are producing a third one. Trepidation over the notion, but kind of liking the idea. Kind of want Skies of Arcadia, but same trepidation as Shenmue. May have simply had its time, and can't be given a new one without soiling the good name of Skies of Arcadia. Fun fact, I also designed a mid-game for Skies. I lost my place on my notes, which is terribly unfortunate. It was going to be an MMO RPG, that's massively multiplayer online role-playing game, for those of you who don't know, but I suspect most of you do know what an MMORPG is. That was set after the first game. Reason why it wasn't straight sequel was a thought that the JRPGs aren't as popular as they once were, so a bridging game might be necessary to prove the popularity and worth of a true sequel. Sometimes I do have a cunning business mind, only sometimes though. So, yeah, I thought it would be a sort of nice filler, where it's like, hey, you know that Skies of Arcadia, it's got an MMORPG. Let's have a go, let's play. And now, everybody likes Skies of Arcadia again. Skies of Arcadia is on everybody's tongue. And, maybe actually do an official sequel that is fully related to the original in every single way and maintains the gameplay with slight improvements and the graphical upgrades, etc., etc. But, that was only my thoughts on the matter at that point. That was a while back when I was having a fiddle around thinking about designing stuff like that. I don't know why I latched onto it being Skies of Arcadia. Probably because I like Skies of Arcadia, but it was more systems that I was designing rather than an actual sort of game. I say systems I was designing. That's probably overstating it, but still. And anyway, there's one last part of the note. I have recently played Darksiders. And possibly Darksiders 2, depending on when this question is answered. I shall confirm I have been playing Darksiders 2 as well. Depending on when this question is answered, and thus would really like to see the appropriate 2 more sequels than the 3rd sequel that ties all the previous 4 games. So yeah, hang on, and we'll finish the note and then explain a little further. Playing as the 4 ties all the previous 4 games, playing as the 4 horsemen together and finishing the tale in an epic and wondrous way. Unfortunately, it looks like that won't happen, thus I will be left wanting. Darn and unhappy face. Yes, that's right. In the notes I wrote darn unhappy face. Because you see, I think I mentioned it because I added it to the top 10. But I really quite like Darksiders. If you don't know Darksiders, then go find Darksiders. It's a damn fine game. It's kind of like Zelda clashes with Devil May Cry God of War clashing with... No, that's about it. It's kind of Zelda clashing with God of War, I think. If Kratos from the God of War roughly gripped Link from behind and rogered him soundly, you would probably end up with Darksiders. Because a lot of the fundamental adventure qualities of Darksiders, I don't know why I'm discussing it fully. You either know this or you don't, and you probably don't care if you don't know it. But anyway, it's got all the adventure qualities of a Zelda game. So, chests, exploration, dungeons, keys in said dungeons, monsters with weaknesses, items that you can use in and out of combat, etc., etc. All of those good Zelda-y bits, whilst keeping a really kind of open, flowy God of War style combat system. And so I really rather love Darksiders. It's a beautiful blend of games. It's one of those ones where you sort of, if you were told they're going to do a blend of, it's going to be like Zelda and God of War, you're probably going to go, really? But it works so beautifully. It's a hodgepodge of perfect systems forming a beautiful game. That's my thoughts on Darksiders. But yeah, it's essentially Darksiders 1. It's not really spoilers. It's obvious from the front covers of the game, I think. Darksiders followed the story of war. I won't detail the story because then I would be spoiling. Let's move on to a new room. So this is Classroom 302. Found a coffee. Well, that's going to keep us awake at night. Oh, I see. This is the door to the music room, but it won't open. Do you think the teacher's locked it for the night? Maybe you can skip this room. No, I hear something moving inside. Hello? Is anyone in there? There is no response. I tug at the door, but it's locked tight. Does anyone know how to pick locks? Huh? Oh, you don't need to pick it. All you have to do is remove these screws and take off the cover. Then you can push open the latch from inside the lock. She fiddles around with some metal bits. Okay, it's open. We charge into the music room. It's Mr. Painsley, the band director. I'm going to detect the monsters! Heather closes the door behind us. What are you doing? Get out! We thought there might be a monster in here or someone injured. No, I was perfectly safe in here until you come along, but now there will be monsters here when they follow you in. Sorry, I'll fix it. Heather opens the door wide and kneels in front of it. What are you doing? Then come in! Heather hunches her shoulders and tries to look small while she reattaches the doorknob. She's fixing the door, which she can do faster if you're not yelling at her. I'm sorry, it's just that if you're in here, the monsters will come. Then we'll fight them, like we have been. But what makes you think they'll come just because we're here? This is as good as it goes. The monsters come here, therefore they're looking for girls. What? You don't know that. This place could have been chosen completely at random. If they attacked several schools, that might mean something. But we only know of one attack. That's not enough data to draw conclusions. Everyone in the monsters are love schoolgirls. They've been chasing girls around. They ignored me long enough for me to hide. Therefore they're attracted to girls. Heather finishes reattaching the doorknob and hides sheepishly behind Nicole. Just because you were able to hide doesn't mean the monsters only chase girls. Anyhow, Heather shyly interrupts. I was also able to hide it too. What do we have in common? You have the same racist accent. You aren't really a boy or something? No. I hope not. She's my favourite science girl. If you saw a cat chasing a mouse, would you assume that cats aren't interested in anything but mice? Besides, that's a different opinion than Anyway, as I've been trying to say, they were attacking Mr. Bear, and I don't think he's a girl. Not with that moustache. Oh, not with that moustache. Oh dear. He checks the door to make sure that it's locked. I have it. I know that you have in common with Dave. Dave? Mr. Bear. He's always chattering away on his cell phone, and girls are gossipy and often use a cell phone. Try to get the inflection on a single sound. Difficult. No, it makes perfect sense. I keep it for my thunder off at work, so they won't talk for me. Look, just because two things are both true does not mean that one causes the other. For all we know, they're scared of pants, or cellists, cellists. I think that's cellists. As in people who play the cello, is that right? Might be, I'm not sure. It's the problem with fucking English. It's got all sorts of different sounds and words and shit. Good sentence. Or they just don't notice you. It's definitely the phones. But that's the part of the problem. I thought cell because of phone. So I didn't even consider cellists until after the fact. But my phone's in my yes, but you're a girl. They expect you to have a cell phone. Nicole goes off fuming to stare out the window. You don't need to go for help. You can do that, you can check the monsters. If they're attracted to cell phones. But they are! I want you young ladies out of here! Wow, douchebag! Protect your young wards, my friend. Protect your young wards. But they are! And I want you young ladies out of here, you shit monsters! Rolly eyes! Whatever! Douche! Who you to call? Ghostbusters! Who you to call? The police? Maybe. Do you think they'll believe us? The university then? And have someone else get to do the first papers on these monsters? No way. Okay, right, so, we were, before we entered that room, mistakenly engaging in epic conversation, we were talking about Darksiders. So Darksiders 1 was the story of war. Darksiders 2 featured a story of death. Now, to me, Admittedly, the science girls perhaps wouldn't like this because it's not... I don't think you can consider it a pattern until after more examples. I think at the very least it would have to be 3 examples to form a pattern, perhaps. But to me, to you, congratulations to anybody who knows where that's from, because that is... I suppose if you're English, you'll know, but it's probably obscure for any other country. Anyway, so you went war, then you went death. To me, that symbolises a pattern. Therefore, the third game would have to be the next horseman, and the fourth game would have to be the horseman after that. That's how I would have played that situation. Anyway, and I believe now traditionally the 4 horsemen are war, death, pestilence, and famine. However, in the Darksiders series, it seems to be war, death, strife, and another one. I think it might be fury. Maybe fury. And one of them was female. Not that, you know, when I designed my Horsemen of the Apocalypse, sticking to the traditional war, death, pestilence and famine, I believe, for me, I made female. Or at the very least pestilence, I definitely did. I'm not sure. I can't remember what famine was ever designed to be. I remember sort of death was kind of genderless, essentially. And war was man. He was a man. He was a fucking man. Because men make war. For better or for worse, men make war. Anyway, so that's what I would have done. 4 games based on the 4 horsemen. Obviously we've had war and death already. And then, of course, you would want a 5th game where you get to combine all of the play you've had as the other horsemen. So you can use... Essentially, war was very heavy, strong. Death was a bit more agile and flippity. Strife, I believe, was the gun wielder, and if I'm right about it being Fury, which I might not be, I accept this, I don't know what Fury was. If it was a female, I would potentially say whips. You did see them at the beginning of Darksiders 2, or at least a little kind of glimpse, I think, of them. Or was it tail end of Darksiders 1? No, I think Darksiders 1 you only saw, like, nothing at all, because of spoilers. I don't think they appeared in Darksiders 1, whereas Darksiders 2, I think you've got a little snippet of when they discussed the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. You had them sort of appear. So that's what I would do. I would do a game for each horseman separate, and then combine those 4 styles of game that you would... I mean, the overarching style is this Zelda-y, adventure-y, dungeon-y, adventure-y thing. But... as I say, Darksiders, war was very heavy and kind of push, poof, and you could lift things up and throw them at enemies, whereas death was very sort of flippy, rolly, flippy, running, etc, etc. And as I say, strife, I think, was the gun wielder, so you'd want to add gun wielding gameplay to the sequel. So yes, in the 4th one, I think you would be able to sort of combine them, so you can use the strength of war to throw death to a new area. Although having said that, that's a little bit of the Darksiders 2 gameplay where you were being thrown across areas. But nevertheless, you could combine it into a sort of manual thing where you have war throw death, and death catches something and then skitters up the walls and stuff. So that's what I would want in the sequels for that. Let's discuss further other examples here. I'll skip the ones written down for now and go with Suikoden. Now, obviously, we've revealed that throughout this Q&A recording time, now either you can interpret that as Suikoden 3 I really, really played a lot of, and therefore did it very quickly, or I did this Q&A very, very slowly. Whichever one pleases you, you can go with. But Suikoden 3 I played through and have now completed. As mentioned previously, I started, so now I've completed it. It's very pleasant. But yeah, I'd like another one. I'd really like another one. I think the latest one would be one called Tierkreis. Not entirely sure how it would be pronounced, but there you go. Tierkreis, maybe? Tierkreis. Hey, are you Tierkreis? Are you Tierkreis? No, I'm Chris. I think we've established I'm Chris, or else you wouldn't be calling me Chris. I'm not called Tyr. Tyr is something completely different. Anyway, and I apparently that wasn't very good, I don't think. It was on the DS, and I kind of want to have a go of it anyway. But yeah, I think another Suikoden game. Unlike Darksiders, I couldn't give you a detailed description of what I want from it, but I can inform you that I want it. I want it. I want it so bad. Right, yeah, pie. Right, with Punch. Back to gameplay specific things. First aid, because poor Erelina is fucked. I think that was thank you in Japanese, was it? I might be mistaken. Right, so Nicole, I'm going to swap you for Heather, and I am going to have you better slingshot. See that? Oh, there we go. It comes up on the. That's very peculiar. Kind of appears as a separate menu, and then you have to navigate to that separate menu. Hence why, as I say, with first aid, it was a lot easier to just do it with the mouse rather than anything else. Oh well. Peculiarities aside, it's a very good game. It's a very simple and fun Japanese RPG, which is they're the best sort of game.